Welcome back to the Knock-On Effect, the rugby show where we say what the pundits won't. We are 2 rounds deep into what has been a cracking Six Nations so far. We've had big upsets, dominant victories, and teams underperforming. In today's video, we're going to summarise our thoughts thus far, look ahead to the remaining fixtures, and answer the question, are Ireland overlooking Wales and Italy? Let's get stuck in. Diving straight into the table, this is how things have shaped up so far. The 2 big things that are shouting out to me is Ireland unbeaten and the most threatening teams in France, Scotland and England having all drop points. Let's take a deeper look into the teams. We'll start with England. Borthwick seems to be making some traction. Maro Itoje has set the marker of the physical style we've become accustomed to with this English squad. Finn Smith was a revelation at outhalf, while Marcus Smith proved he can still influence the game from fullback. In round 1, England put up a valiant effort against Ireland for the first 50 minutes, and then we kicked into second gear and had the game dead and buried, putting us well out of reach of any late English comeback. France didn't do that in round 2. Now it's the age-old question, were England much better than France, or were France that bad? I always see it as a mix of both. England were able to sustain their physical defence and big carries all game long. They built on the lessons learnt from round 1. France didn't, so let's talk about them. They'll no doubt be bitterly disappointed with their loss. Despite this, we've seen Bielle-Biarrey take the competition by storm. He looks to be a generational talent on the wing. Thomas Ramos, Alldritt and Atonio have particularly impressed me with their quality. Dupont is teetering on the edge of being in the argument of the greatest player in history. To get him over the line, titles must come. Against the English, France didn't put the game to bed. Things weren't clicking for them and they had an off day. I think Ntamack's suspension greatly contributed to the lack of cohesion. It was a big regression from round 1, however. Despite playing much poorer opposition in Wales, they were a hell of a lot more clinical. You can chalk that down to the home crowd, Wales being very one-dimensional, or any other factors. But when push came to shove, passes went to hand, and they did a number against Wales. Wales, fresh off being hockeyed by the French, travelled to Rome in search of what would likely be their best opportunity of a win. They were woeful. The Italians looked much better organised, and it was a sad day for Welsh rugby. Completely devoid of ideas. There isn't much I can say about Wales. Ben Thomas ain't it at outhalf. That whole backline could be replaced. I feel bad for Jac Morgan. He plays his heart and soul out every game, and unfortunately there just isn't quality around him. Gatland. I'd have him gone. I can't imagine the energy in that Welsh camp is anything but toxic. However much it costs to buy out the contract, just do it. This is painful to watch. Adam Jones won't do a worse job, and hopefully we'll start to see this squad repair itself. A team who has already gone through the process of repair though is Italy. I remember when the likes of Bergamasco, Castro Giovanni and Sergio Parisse all retired. I'd watch the games and there was no standout players in the squad. Ange Capuozzo, Tommaso Allen, Garbisi, Russel. They mightn't be generational talents in world rugby, but they are doing a fantastic job of driving Italy to new heights. Italy came out on top in round 2 versus Wales, but Scotland showed their class in round 1. Despite Italy putting in a great effort, Scotland looked a step ahead where it mattered most. Italy drew to France last year and will welcome them to Rome this year. Could they do the impossible? Well, the impossible was not done on Sunday in Murrayfield. Gregor Townsend's men looked bang average against the Irish. The loss of not only Finn Russel and Darcy Graham early on, but also Tui Pilatu proved too much. If Scotland want to kick on, because they are comfortably beating the Wales, Italys and Fijis of this world, if they want to establish themselves as titans of the sport, they are gonna have to start developing more depth. I've seen a few Scotland fans call for the end of Townsend, but I think that's mad. He's done wonders with the squad so far, and on a different day, with a fully fit squad, who knows what happens. Which finally brings us to Ireland. First, let's take a look at outhalf. If Crowley went 1-0 up against England, it's well and truly 1-1. Prendergast looked much more settled against Scotland. My gut still says that his defensive fragility would be exposed against top opposition, but for what he's been able to achieve at such a young age, I think he deserves big praise. Crowley will get his shot again, and I've been majorly impressed with how he's handled this whole situation. We might all benefit from this battle just yet. Leading into the tournament, we said it's time for Doris to step up as captain. He has. I thought he was a bit lost in the role in the autumn series, but he has settled down impressively. Tadhg Beirne looks back to his best. Porter has been phenomenal, and we've been spoiled for choice at hooker. O'Mahony still has life in him yet, and Conan is some fucking sub to bring on. The pack have been world class. Most of my concerns are out wide. When you look at the likes of a France or a South Africa, we don't really have a Bielle-Biarrey or a Chesney Colby. James Lowe, Mack Hansen and now Nash have served us well, but against France will be put to the test. So far, we're able to grow into the game against England and successfully take our chances, something France couldn't do. Against Scotland, we battered them. It was unfortunate they didn't have a fully fit selection, but we were clinical. I think that's what the French game is going to come down to. Can we suppress the French flair while being able to be that clinical? And can France get back to their best? I fancy our chances here. Which leads us to the question, are Ireland overlooking Wales and Italy? I think this is really two questions. First, are the Irish fans overlooking them? Yeah, absolutely. But for good reason. Wales have been woeful, but if you don't think that travelling to Cardiff will be a difficult task with a packed out Principality Stadium and Wales backs against the wall, then I don't know why you watch sport. If you don't think it's possible for Italy to make a complete nuisance of themselves in Rome looking to spoil the Irish party, then why even watch the games? No one would have predicted that Italy would get a result last year against France, or would run England so close. The Six Nations is so special because these moments of magic exist. Now, are the Ireland squad overlooking them? Absolutely not. The whole lead up to those games all week long will be about not overlooking them. This is an experienced squad and they will all be well aware of the threats that lie ahead. Undoubtedly though, France will offer the biggest chance of putting an end to the Irish dreams. Who do you think will come out on top? Since I've started editing this video, we've received two pieces of breaking news. First is that Warren Gatland and Wales have parted ways immediately. It goes without saying that I think this is the right call. He will undoubtedly go down in history as probably Wales' most successful coach. On the other hand, his most recent stint with Wales was abysmal. Both of those statements are true and separate. Don't let his recent run of form deceive you. He is an all-time great. And just because he once achieved greatness doesn't mean he shouldn't have been sacked. Second is the disciplinary committee have decided to uphold Romain Ntamack's suspension, meaning he will miss the Italy and Ireland matches. Make no mistake about it, France are a better team with Ntamack at the helm, and this is a massive blow for them. They will have 3 weeks before the Ireland match to get everyone singing off the same hymn sheet. Do you think they can do it? Let us know in the comments down below. And if you're not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? We're going nowhere. Cheers for watching. Catch you at the next one.